Bishop McElroy, you expressed some concern earlier today about the language that's being used in faithful citizenship about intrinsic evils. Can you break that out for me a little bit? What were you concerned about?
Sure. Intrinsic evil is a technical term in Catholic moral theology. It's used to describe a particular type of structured act which can never be good. The problem is that at times it's been used in faithful citizenship and other venues as if it denoted what is a grave evil, which evils are the gravest evils, and that's not what it does. And particularly has been used by partisans outside of the conference to take the conference documents and to use it in a partisan way, because the intrinsically evil actions that have been identified within faithful citizenship have all been what one would call Republican issues, even though there are intrinsic evils described in the documents of the church, such as the exploitation of labor and inhuman working conditions, which are not.
So, can you be specific? What were the issues that were identified as intrinsic evils in the revisions to faithful citizenship?
Well, in the draft, for one thing, it added the question of redefinition of marriage as intrinsically evil. Now, redefinition of marriage is a public policy act. It can't be technically intrinsically evil, so it was wrong to describe it that way in the draft. So my objection was to the use of that language on the one hand. At the same time, it's also a bad use of language because it's pastorally alienating.
And it's something we're worried might be used outside the conference for a political agenda.
Yes, and in a way that's injurious to people, to gay men and women and to their families, and it's injurious to our whole relationship with the millennial generation. And so it's just the type of language that has a very technical meaning. It should never be used in a public policy document, in my view.
And that'll be decided tomorrow if it's going to be excised or included in the document as is.
Yes, that's right.
Are you hopeful that you can have it rewritten in the manner you described?
In my discussions, the question I raised really pertained to, are they changing it so that it's not going to describe redefinition of marriage in that way? And the answer was yes. But because it's such a technical, from Cardinal DiNardo. Yeah. So, but I haven't seen the full text afterwards, so I don't know how that will flesh out.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yes.
In general, how do you feel this meeting so quickly after the synod reflects some of the values and concerns that Pope Francis has expressed over the last couple of years about language, about being a pastoral presence, about moving on to other issues that the church is concerned about?
I think there's an increased attention to language and to the pastoral use of language. I think I've noticed in conversations among the bishops and in trying to forge some of the language, particularly as I'm on the Committee of Priorities and Plans, which was redoing the priorities for the next 3 years for the conference. After the last meeting here, there was some discussion of it. And there was an effort to particularly use language drawn from Pope Francis. At the same time, I think it's crucially important to elevate the issues of poverty and the environment more than the draft of faithful citizenship does at the present moment. I think it does not put those at the very center of Catholic political discourse alongside abortion and euthanasia, and I think it needs to if we're going to be faithful to what Pope Francis is calling us to do.
And you don't really see those priorities expressed in the agenda here at the meeting?
Well, I think they've been incorporated more fully into the 3-year planning agenda. But as to faithful citizenship, even though those issues are talked about, they are not talked about as being preeminent in the same way that abortion and euthanasia are explicitly called preeminent. And when the section on the weighing of decision-making in Catholic moral theology takes on for the citizen, as citizen and believer, that poverty and the environment are not given the same weight. And that's a worry to me. I think that's not in keeping with what Pope Francis is calling us to do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.